Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are a returning subscriber, then you are welcome back here. If you are new to the channel, then welcome. This channel is called A Journey of Faith, and it's essentially a channel that I come to share some of the things that I've been learning on my journey of faith as a Christian, hoping to just encourage you in your faith and to also just equip you so that you can also grow in your faith. And on this channel, I talk faith, I talk relationships, and I talk lifestyle. So if any of these things interest you, if any of these things are things that you are also passionate about, then do join the family, do subscribe to the channel. And if this video blesses you as well, then do make sure that you put the thumbs up sign and share this video with someone else, put on the notification bell, and also spend some time going back over the previous videos that I have recorded, because I also believe that they will bless you too. So first of all, happy new month. Welcome to the month of June. Praying for blessings for you, praying for peace, goodness, prosperity, all of that good stuff in this month. But this month on the channel, we are starting a new series, and it's going to be on the topic and subject of emotional health, emotional well-being, growing in your emotional intelligence, knowing how to prioritize your emotional health, basically everything emotional health and well-being. So I really wanted to touch upon this topic of emotional health, emotional well-being, because I do feel like it's something that we do need to talk about much more. It's something that we do need to pour into, invest in, because you can see somebody who is physically mature, but emotionally they are still immature, right? It's possible for someone to be in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and they are still emotionally immature, even though they have matured by age. So I think this is definitely a very important topic for us to speak about, just so we can see where we are right now and see how we can really work on bettering that area of our emotional health. So you guys know I love to start with definitions, because I love to make sure that we're on the same page before I really delve into the content. But I wanted to start by defining what emotional health is. So emotional health is essentially just being able to manage one's emotions well, effectively, and even being able to engage with other people on an emotional level as well in a healthy way. Having good emotional health also looks like being able to deal with difficult situations, difficult circumstances, but again, dealing with that in a healthy way. It essentially just talks about the state of our inner man. So that's a bit of a definition, just to lay the foundation, just so we're on the same page, and just so we all know kind of like what I'm speaking about today, right? So I'm going to get into the 5 points. I'm just going to be sharing 5 things that I've learned on my journey, 5 things that I think are really, really helpful in order to help us grow, help us to develop, help us to thrive in that area of our emotional health. So let's get right into it. The number one thing that I would definitely recommend when it comes to prioritizing your emotional health is using the power of journaling. Journaling is so powerful. Journaling for me personally was such a huge game changer on this journey, because even though I've always journaled, I've always kind of been that type of person to write things down. But when it comes to journaling in terms of my feelings and my emotions, that wasn't something that I didn't start to take seriously until probably 2020, towards the end of that year. Journaling could essentially just mean putting pen to paper, writing where you are emotionally, writing down how you feel, writing down maybe how your day went and just how that made you feel, or certain situations that you have gone through. There are so many people who are literally not in touch with their emotions. If you ask them, how do you feel? There's just a blank look on their face, because genuinely they don't know how they feel. But journaling is so powerful because it helps you to really get to that point of just being able to discern your emotions, understand your emotions, understand the emotions that you're feeling day in and day out. And more importantly, it really, really helps you to process those emotions and to really understand how you can take those emotions and bring it to a resolution, to a solution, to whatever the situation is that you are dealing with. So personally for me, I have found journaling to be absolutely powerful. I remember there was a period where I used to journal like pretty much every single day. And I used to tell all of my sister friends that, you guys, if you're not journaling, then you need to start journaling today. And that is definitely something that you can also start doing today. Putting pen to paper, or if you prefer digitally, putting hands to your phone or your iPad and just writing down each day how you feel. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can literally look back on your journal prompts 5 months down the line, 6 months down the line, and see your process when it comes to that area of your emotional health. So if you haven't started journaling, if that's something that you haven't started doing already, then I'll definitely encourage you to start doing it today and writing down where you are emotionally. Number 2 thing that I would definitely say would help you to prioritize your emotional health is going to therapy. So we know that a lot of people talk about therapy in society right now, especially since the pandemic period, right? A lot of people have been sharing their journey. They've been encouraging people to start their own therapy journey and just really just talking about the different ways that you can engage therapy in this day and age. Of course, traditionally, therapy was something that a lot of people would go to face to face, but these days, there are so many online therapy sessions that you can go to, such as using BetterHelp. So BetterHelp is definitely one therapy service that I would recommend because it's somewhere that you can go, it's affordable, you can choose a therapist, and if you're not happy with the therapist that you choose, it's so easy to quickly change that therapist. Therapy is literally basically you just walking alongside someone else on that journey to your emotional well-being. You may be someone who has dealt with emotional trauma, you may have dealt with emotional wounds, emotional hurts, and it's something that, yes, maybe journaling can have its place, but there's some things that it takes more than one person. Two are better than one, and that is what therapy is all about. It's literally taking that situation, taking your heart issues, taking your emotional health to a therapist to basically help you walk that out. And some people are very scared to start that journey. Some people feel like they're not ready to be vulnerable or open up, but it's definitely a safe place to be able to deal with your emotions, manage your emotions, and find coping mechanisms to know how to deal with your emotions in a more healthy way. So therapy is definitely one thing I recommend. I know that some people say that they can't afford therapy right now. There is a channel on YouTube, a ministry called Redefine TV, and every single Thursday they do something called Therapy Thursdays. So guys, you've heard this now. You have no excuse. Even if you're at a place where you can't afford therapy or it's something that you're not ready to start, I would definitely say go and check out Therapy Thursdays and tune in every single Thursday, and that will also help you to grow on your emotional health journey. Number 3, when it comes to prioritizing your emotional health and well-being, is to listen to content, read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos, things that will basically help you to grow in your emotional intelligence. The more you grow in your emotional intelligence, the more you're better equipped to be able to deal with your emotional well-being. The better you're equipped to know the things that you can use for coping mechanisms, the better you're equipped to really understand and know your triggers. So that's definitely something, again, that I would recommend, reading the right types of books. So one book that I've read during my journey is called Boundaries. Boundaries by Cloud and Townsend. That book is powerful, guys. That book literally taught me how to set boundaries in a healthy way. It basically taught me that boundaries are not putting up walls, but it's basically us taking back control and being able to say that I am going to know what I'm saying yes to come into my soul, and I know what I'm saying no to. And some of you guys, maybe that's where you need to start reading a book that will help you to know how to set boundaries, how to say no, how to stop people pleasing, right? So that's one book I'll recommend. I will also recommend this book, which is called Why Am I Like This? And this book is by a lady called Kobe Campbell. And yeah, another amazing resource, another amazing book. And another book that I also recommend is called The Garden Within, which is by Dr. Anita Phillips. So those are definitely 2 people that I would also recommend for you guys to check out their podcast, to check out their page, to check out their Instagram, their content, and just follow them as you're on this journey of prioritizing your emotional health. So I'll put all of the details down in the description box below so that you can check that out. And I'll also add other resources to help you on your emotional journey. So checking out videos, checking out content, reading books is definitely another amazing way to help you to prioritize your emotional health in this season. And I'll be very irresponsible if I just put that out there and just said go and listen to everything and anything. No, these days there's just so much out there, so much content, so much knowledge, and we have to be mindful of what we're also taking in. So I'll definitely also encourage you to pray, to ask the Holy Spirit to lead you as well when it comes to what you should listen to, who you should listen to, who you should follow before just jumping into that. Okay, so number 4 is one that I feel like you guys are not going to want to hear, but you're going to have to hear it whether you like it or not, and that is staying in a place of stillness and solitude. See, I'm sure you guys don't like it, right? Silence and solitude. This generation, we don't like to be still. We don't like to be in solitude, but it's so, so, so important. And it just reminds me of the days when we were in the lockdown and we pretty much had no choice but to be still, to be in solitude. Stillness and solitude is so, so, so important because it really helps us to just check in with ourselves and just know where we are emotionally. It just reminds me of that whole analogy of a car, right? Where on the dashboard, whenever there's something wrong with the car, it will bring up the signals, it will bring up the signs to help us know that something needs to be done. And I really feel like that is what stillness and solitude does for us as human beings, right? It helps us to realize that, okay, there's something wrong. The signs on the dashboard start to show up. Things start to come up and let us know that you need to deal with this. This needs to be addressed. This needs to be sorted out. And the question is, are you going to ignore those signs or are you going to deal with those signals as they come up? The truth is that when it comes to dealing with emotional wounds, emotional trauma, or anything that may be an emotional burden or emotional baggages, time doesn't heal that. Time doesn't take it away. So no matter how long you continue with time and think, okay, things will just get better, things will be improved, things will change, just like the car that is telling you you need to top up your oil, you need to top up your water. If you do not do it, after some time, things will become worse and the car will eventually break down. So even for us as humans, it's so important for us to not ignore those signals, not ignore those signs. And spending time every single day in stillness and solitude is a great way for us to just ensure that we're constantly checking in, checking those signals, checking those signs on the dashboard, and knowing what's going on in our inner life so that we can address it and deal with those things. The beautiful thing as well with silence and solitude is that when we're really still and we take that time to just really be in silence and not have distractions, things in the background, music, different types of entertainment, movies, we hear God much more clearer. And if you don't believe me, try it. Literally try it. Taking that time to just be still, taking that time to just turn off all of the content, turn off all the sound, turn off social media. It will really make a difference when it comes to your emotional well-being. Silence and solitude, really just taking that time to be still, taking that time to have daily check-ins and taking that time to address those signals, those things that are coming up on the dashboard and making sure that we deal with them. So number 5 is going for prayer walks. I am a big believer of journaling. I am a big believer of therapy. And I'm also a big believer of being still, being with ourselves. But one thing that I also believe in is the power of prayer. And I believe that this is another thing that is so essential when it comes to our emotional health journey. Whether that's actually praying over your emotional health or whether that's even just praying and just speaking to God about where you are emotionally. Some of you guys have never ever opened up to God and said, Lord, I'm feeling this way. Some of you have never been able to say to God that you are feeling angry, that you are feeling sad, that you are feeling even just joyful, happy, being able to share your heart with Him, be vulnerable, open up with your emotions. And that is the safest place that you can ever start when it comes to opening up and being vulnerable on your emotional health journey. For some of you guys, that's literally where you need to start when it comes to prioritizing your emotional health in this season. Be honest with Him. Be honest with how you're feeling. If you're feeling angry, be honest and say, Lord, I'm feeling angry. If you're feeling sad, be honest that you're feeling sad. Don't hide that. Don't cover it up. At the end of the day, yes, He already knows, but there's power in literally just speaking that out to Him. There's power in sharing that with Him. And I'm telling you, the more you have these conversations with God, the more you literally just share with Him where you are emotionally, the more He will start to show you resources, strategies, ways that you can better, and He will literally walk alongside with you on that journey. So if that's something that you haven't already done, going for prayer walks, opening up with God, being vulnerable with Him when it comes to your emotional life, then I'll definitely encourage you to do that today, to literally just share with Him where you are emotionally and to also spend some time to pray over your emotional health and well-being. So those are the 5 points. But guys, because I love you guys so much, I am giving you guys a bonus point, and that is going to be declarations. affirmations. So biblical declarations, biblical affirmations. So I've actually provided a document in the description box below which has some scriptures, and it also has some affirmations or declarations, I call them, that you can literally start speaking from today over yourself when it comes to that area of your emotional health and well-being. So I'm just going to give an example of one that you can even just speak over yourself right now, and that is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 11. And it says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child, but now that I am an adult, I put away childish things. And that is something that you can speak right now to just basically start that journey of prioritizing your emotional health, to say that no longer will you think like a child, no longer will you reason like a child, no longer will you be immature. You are making that decision today to mature in your emotional life. So that's it when it comes to the points, guys. And I'm just going to end on a quick note when it comes to something that I was reading the other day, which I found so powerful, in Luke chapter 15. And it was talking about the parable of the lost sheep. And it was saying how the shepherd literally left the 99 sheep and went after the one. And basically, when he found him, he put him on his shoulder and he carried him back to the rest of the flock. And I feel like somebody needs to hear that today. Maybe you've been out there in the wilderness. Maybe you've been out there, you've been trying to live life your own way, and you've incurred all of these emotional wounds and you don't know where to start from. You don't know where to go. Know and understand that there is a good shepherd. His name is Jesus, and he cares about your soul. He cares about your emotional health, and he wants to heal you emotionally. So I hope that that will encourage you today. I hope that you'll accept that invitation of, you know, him just really healing you emotionally. And there's a scripture as well, Matthew 11:28, that says, come to me, all you who are heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest. So that is definitely something I'm going to leave you with for those who may need rest in this season, emotional healing in this season. Yes, all those tips that I shared above are amazing, but I'm telling you, there's nothing like the presence of God. There's nothing like getting healing from the healer himself. So I hope this video has blessed you. I hope the tips have helped you to really just start prioritizing your emotional health in this season. There will be more videos on this topic as we go through this month. But again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.